Hello, friends. I am Flores Banditas,
And I'm Christina Young.
and we are Art Anarchists.
Cling, cheers.
Welcome to our intro episode.
As art anarchists, our mission is to galvanize and inspire the underrepresented to be change makers of their own reality and to proudly broadcast their unique perspectives. Through thoughtful conversation on art, culture, and the role of the artist as activists, we pursue art's ability to act as a vehicle for social change. So, Flores Banditas is now going to tell us a little bit about art herself.
All right, so just a little bit about my background and why I became an artist. So my artistic journey started really early on, I would say in my teenage years, and it started with photography. Well, actually, as a child, I always loved art and always wanted to be an artist. So as a teenager, I was enamored by Helmut Newton's work. And I remember flipping through a Vogue magazine, sometime in the 90s, where he had this very beautiful, provocative spread. And at that point, I was, a young teenage girl, and I wanted to be a model. So I wanted to be one of the models in Vogue. But after seeing this spread, I was just like, no, I don't want to be the model. I want to be the photographer. I want to be the one coming up with these concepts and being artistic in this way. So that was where it all started. After that, I started taking pictures of myself in various costumes.
So you were the model and the photographer.
I became the model and the photographer.
You wanted it all.
I wanted it all. Yeah, I wanted to be the mastermind. So yeah, that's where it really all started. And self-portraiture and photography have been part of my practice since then. It's kind of, yeah, that's where I live. I live in that realm. And hopefully I'll dip my toe into some performance art in the near future, but I don't know. I think, yeah, that's me as an artist. How about you?
So yeah, when I was younger, I mean, as far back as I can remember, I wanted to be an artist. And at that age, I didn't really know what that meant. I just knew I wanted to color. But as I got older, I got more interested in art, studying art. I went to an arts magnet school, and then I went to Parsons for fashion design. I decided I wanted to be a fashion designer. And when I got to Parsons, I realized that I do love the process of designing and making clothes, but there's a differentiation between a designer and an artist, and I was an artist and not a designer. I remember one of my professors used to ask me, like, I would design something, or like somebody in the class would design something, and he'd be like, well, would this sell at JCPenney? And I would always be like, I don't even want it to sell at JCPenney, okay? Like, that's not even like where I want to be. But anyways, so I realized that I was not a designer. And I worked in New York City for like a little under a year, and I hated it. Once again, like, I like the process of making clothes, but I just wasn't cut out for that environment. And so 9/11 happened, and I came back to Virginia, and a bunch of other stuff happened, and then I finally got the opportunity. I got a residency, and I finally had like time and the physical space to make art. And I found out at this organization where I was doing my residency, I found out that there are other people like me that think like me, which I had never experienced before.
Yeah.
So it was very encouraging, you know. So anyways, that's where I had my first solo exhibition, and I made dresses as art. And I can talk about that like at a later point, but so that's kind of like where I'm dabbling now. I'm starting to get like more interested in performance art as well. But I mean, all in all, the point of art to me is to like say something, or to 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 do something, or to like make you like move the audience, and to provoke some sort of action. So I think that's where what has led us to each other.
Yeah.
So at this point in our lives. So do you want to talk a little bit about how we met?
Oh my God. Yeah. So
don't make me sound bad.
So Christina and I met at a gallery opening in DC at Lost Origins Gallery, and yeah, it was just like my first time at this opening at this gallery, and yeah, we struck up a conversation, and it was just like, what do you do? What do you do? What kind of artist are you? Da, 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 da. And there was like a connection, and I think that was just like really cool because especially in DC, I think it's important that you find your artistic community, and when you find somebody that shares same views to a certain extent. We're not like identical twins or anything, but we share some similarities.
We don't share anything. No, I'm just
like we work well together. So yeah, I think it's important to make those connections in any art scene, really.
Yes. I know when I first met you, do you remember what exhibit opening it was? Which exhibit?
It was the Robin Bell exhibit.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
It was. It was.
But I remember when I met you, I don't exactly remember the conversation, but I just remember thinking like, oh, this girl's kind of cool.
Yeah, me too.
I don't say that a lot.
Yeah.
When I meet new people, I don't like, normally, I mean, it's very like not often that I'm like, oh, she's cool. I could like actually talk to this person again and be okay with that.
Yeah.
So I think that I said that like I would like, I think we exchanged Instagrams or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I said that like I would contact you, or we should like get together, and you apparently
Well, I was waiting.
You were like waiting by the phone.
I was like, well, because I'm an introvert. I think I'm an introvert. So for me to just like go out anywhere and strike up a genuine, meaningful conversation with someone, that's what I do. Like I don't go anywhere, big events or anything to bullshit. So yeah, I was just like, wow, like this girl is really cool, and she said she would call. So like, okay, I was like, well, wow, okay, cool. We'll see, because I think that quite often, people do make those connections and don't follow through. And then she did call.
But there's the 3-day rule.
Yeah.
You have to wait 3 days before you call. So do you remember how long it took me to contact you?
I think it was like, I don't remember. I think it might have been like at least a month, because I
Oh, really?
yeah, because I remember I posted on Instagram that I had sold my first piece at Superfine, and you were like, "Oh, well, we got to celebrate or something," or I forget what it was. Yeah.
Oh, it took me a month.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Were you like on edge that whole month?
You guys, I don't have a lot of friends, so
yeah. So anyways, we met, we talked, we liked each other, and then the first time we hung out was at that what was that called?
Oh, the hen house.
Yeah, the hen house.
The hen house event. It was the tiny show.
Yeah.
They had their tiny show.
Yeah, so that was the first time we hung out. We went there, and that was the first time I bought a piece of art.
That was your first piece?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
wow.
never bought like original art. Yeah. How much did that cost me?
Oh my gosh, it was like less than $20.
Oh, it was so cool.
It was so, yeah. The piece is so sweet.
So I just moved into a new place, and I was kind of waiting because I wanted to get like, this has nothing to do with anything, but I wanted to get like all my furniture and then buy art. But I just really liked that one, so I just had to get it.
It's a sweet piece.
And since then, I bought a couple more, but yeah.
That's
once
cool.
Again, besides the point.
Support the the local art economy. So yeah, in addition to our love for art, you know, that's what we really have in common. But we also have in common our backgrounds, you know, our familial backgrounds and how we grew up. And I'm Latina. My parents are Bolivian. And Christina?
I'm half Korean, half Caucasian, and I was raised by my Korean mother. She was a single mother for most of the time until she remarried and I got a stepdad. But yeah.
So, you know, we had really good conversations as well about our upbringings and background, and like we shared some commonalities there. I think
about some like weird immigrant mothers.
Yes. Our mothers are they share some they have things in common. I often think about like, what if they met?
They wouldn't be able to communicate.
They wouldn't, but I bet you they would know. They would know. They would probably speak in like eye language, kind of like these two. Like these daughters we bore, like yeah. And you know what's so funny is that like my mother has finally come to grips with like, oh, my daughter's an artist.
Oh, it took when did that happen?
I mean, like like I think now she's finally come to terms with like she's gonna do what she wants to do. You know, Helen tries to live an artistic life all of the time. So yeah.
But I mean, what was stopping her from realizing that before?
She wanted me to be like,
she just had other ideas.
Yeah, she had other ideas, you know, like be you know, get into real estate, you know, or like, you know, before it was just like, oh, you got to be like a doctor, engineer, something that's going to make you money. And of course I was not interested in any of those careers, and it's always been art. And it wasn't until my mid 30s, early 30s, that I finally was just like, no, like I'm tired of pursuing other people's ideas of what is successful, and I'm just going to invest my time and money into studying and learning and being what I want to be. So yeah.
That's funny. I guess that's one difference that we have then.
Oh, really?
Because my mom, she has like a creative like side of her too. So she actually was a model in Korea. And like her magazine covers, like on like from fashion magazines and stuff, like in the 70s, and yeah, they're like all over our house. She has them like
Oh my
framed.
God.
It's like a museum, like an ode to herself.
Wow, I love it.
But I think like she kind of wanted to, like, from like modeling, I don't know if that's what made her want to do that, but she wanted to be a fashion designer.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, so when I went to fashion design school, like she was all for it, which a lot of like Asian moms or Asian parents are not like into that. So
That's super cool.
yeah, so she was all for it, but you know, I graduated at a really bad time. Like right when 9/11 happened, so that wasn't great. But yeah, she's never really discouraged me from being a creative or like being in a creative like work field, but she does, I mean, she does worry. Like she worries about, like, you know, if I'm going to be financially okay, and you know, since I'm single, you know, she worries more. So but yeah, I guess that's one way that we differ. But to get back to like this whole thing.
Yes.
We came together and we started hanging out and going to art shows. And another thing we like to do together is like eat out.
Yes. We're foodies.
Yeah, definitely.
Christina, big foodie.
Yeah, it's a problem. Yo, check out my Instagram, Red Beana, REDBEANA. That's my food Instagram. Anyways, shout out to myself. So we, you know, started hanging out, and then we haven't known each other that long. Like, when was the Robin Bell show that we met at?
I think that was in October.
Oh.
That was in October.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So, you know, it's been less than like a year. But we got together, and I think one day we were hanging out and we were talking and we were having like really great conversation, because that's like when I talk to Flores Banditas, there are things that I can talk to you about and that like you get, and like I can have a conversation with you that I can't have with anybody else, basically. Or very few people. So one day we were talking about, you know, some of these things that I feel like I can't talk with other people about. And not only is our conversation like just very satisfying to my soul, but I think we're hilarious. As we laugh to ourselves.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we're hilarious. And so like I just said to her, I was like, dude, like, you know, I think our conversations are great. I think they're like funny and captivating. And I think even if like you don't necessarily know a whole lot about art, or maybe you don't even want to talk about art, I think listening to us would still be kind of fun. And if you are into art, it would be really fun.
Yes.
So
yes.
I was like, I just kind of made a joke, and I was like, we should do a podcast. And then she was like, yeah. So here we are. We don't know. We don't know how to do this. Like, we just went online, Googled microphone, and bought one. And Googled how to record podcasts, and we're just kind of winging it. We don't know what we're doing, but here we are. And we were born out of this time of coronavirus.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think like we were in the works before, and then
we were talking about it.
Yeah, we were talking about it before, and then you know, the global pandemic started, and then we had time to like actually sit down and really think about what it was we wanted to put forth. So yeah, and now we're in another pandemic with the turmoil, the civil unrest that we are currently in. So
yeah, and like, yeah, as she was just saying, we were talking about doing this, and like I think we were talking about like our commonalities, and like if we did this podcast, like what did we want to do with it, like what was its intention. And you know, we were talking and thinking through that, and then the coronavirus happened. And I don't know about you, but for me, like I was thinking all this coronavirus stuff, like everything, I feel like a coronavirus has just brought to light like kind of what I feel like most people kind of have a sense of or know, that you know, whatever, make America great again. America had to be great in the first place. And it's my personal opinion that we were never great.
yeah.
So it's just brought to the surface, like in a way that you can't ignore, or I hope you can't ignore, a lot of problems that we have in this country. And I've been thinking about this whole like concept of capitalism a lot, and how that's just not working for us. How it's creating more problems than anything else. And yeah, so all this stuff is on my brain. And as an artist, and I think, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we both believe that like art has the power and the ability to bring about change, because different from like something like politics, like the thing about art is it appeals to the humanity in people, and it levels the playing surface. In front of a moving piece of art, like we're all the same. So I think in that way, like it has a power to I mean, I think politics is, or some form of it is necessary, but not in the way that we have it now. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know if you would agree wholeheartedly with that, but so that's why we wrote our mission the way we wrote it, because we want this to be a point of conversation, like a place to have conversation. And we're gonna have this podcast, and obviously like you can't talk to us in the podcast, but we'll have other avenues of communication.
Yeah,
we'll bring like in like guests maybe, to interview. And I think now with this other our second pandemic,
yes.
there's so much more. Yeah, I thought there were,
I know, just when you thought like COVID was enough and like we could get through it, and now we have this, you know, whole like social injustice pandemic going on. Yeah, it's definitely, I think, like a weird time, but also there's a lot of opportunities, and I think art is just gonna get really, really, really good. I can't wait to see how artists react to both of these, you know, both of these events, you know.
Good thing is, I feel like there's actually maybe some lasting change coming out of this.
I hope so. Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least a step towards that.
Yeah. I honestly, yeah, I hope so too. So, but we'll get more, like, we'll continue discussing
all kinds of things. We have a whole list.
We have a whole list of episodes, and
we get in there.
Yeah. You know, and they'll be, you know, it's just, and they'll be very genuine conversations and just like our perspectives.
Yeah.
And what we really genuinely think about art, culture, and the art world, and just, you know, in a very accessible way.
Mm-hmm. So are we kind of done here?
I think, yeah. So we're gonna
wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna head out. But yeah, thank you for listening, and you know, we hope that you continue to listen to our upcoming episodes. Our next episode is what makes art art. So yeah, hope you're there listening and engaging.
Yay. Our our only social media we have right now is Art Anarchists on Instagram. So look us up and we'll get some other like website and stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Bye.